Hello guys and welcome back to the Afrocentrist podcast. My name remains Ejiro Osakade and I'm delighted to have you here on today's episode. So who will I be talking to today? I'll be talking to a sales expert and his name is Dapo Onamusi. So I'm just going to do a quick rundown of his profile and then I'm going to bring him up and we're going to have this discussion about how to 10x your sales in crisis. Okay, so stay tuned, don't go anywhere. But let me quickly read his profile before I bring him on board. Dapo Onamusi is a designer and business consultant from Lagos, Nigeria. He helps business owners sell repeatedly by delivering practical strategies and tactics that must be deployed to help them achieve their growth-driven goals. Dapo delivers value through his products, that is books, articles, audibles, photos, videos, and so on. He also delivers value through his services via coaching, consulting, speaking, mentoring, brand strategy design, and packaging or label design. Dapo Onamusi is trained as a mechanical engineer in the University of Ibadan. Rather than practicing, he applied his training and design skills to his all-time passion for creating solutions for challenges through media and marketing communication, which he has done for over 20 years. To polish his craft, he also enrolled in a number of courses at the School of Media and Communication, Pan-African University, now Pan-Atlantic University. Like I can say so much about Dapo Onamusi, but let me just allow us also meet him personally and let him tell us a little bit about him that we don't know in his profile. Okay, so I'll be right back with my guest. Don't go anywhere. It's still the Afrocentrist podcast, and my name is Ejiro Osakade. All right, so welcome back, guys, to the Afrocentrist podcast, and I have with me here Dapo Onamusi. I already did a little bit of your bio, right? But I'm like, you know what? Let me bring you on board and let's ask you directly from you. Like, okay, if I ask who is Dapo Onamusi, what would your answer be outside of what you have on your profile?
Dapo Onamusi is a fine boy.
I love it.
It makes people laugh. And there's never a dull moment with Dapo Onamusi. At the end of the day, you always get some value, and your business is always better for it.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Sweet. Thank you so much for availing yourself to be here on the Afrocentrist podcast. So today we're talking about, how to 10x your sales during crisis. And I want to start with saying, okay, what is crisis? Because people are like, okay, like sometimes when you think about crisis, you start to think about, is there war? Is there unrest or anything? And then so I went in search of what exactly is the meaning of crisis. And, Google Dictionary says that a time of intense difficulty or danger. And I want to believe that a lot of businesses are going through some difficulty at this time because almost the whole of 2020 was like nothing was happening. And so it feels like right now people are going through the survival of the fittest, right? Like, how are we going to bounce? Right. All the sales we've missed last year, how are we going to recover from it? Some people already just got knocked out, right? Some businesses already got knocked out, but some are still trying to struggle through it and say, okay, how do we make it work? What's going to happen? People are unsure. What's the next strategy? Because it feels like the strategy that we have already is not working anymore. So how do we then repurpose or pivot to now actually still go ahead to make sales? And then there is this quote by John F. Kennedy that says, when written in Chinese, it's a popular quote about crisis, that the word crisis is composed of two characters. One is it represents danger and the other it represents opportunity. So I believe that even in the midst of this hardship that businesses are going through, even on personal level, but today we're focusing on businesses, right? Even in the midst of this hardship or danger or crisis, there are opportunities. And that's the opportunity to learn how to 10x your sales, how to do better, what to do differently to be able to get a different result. And that's what we want to focus on today. And knowing who you are, that you help businesses 10x their business or their sales. I'm like, who else should I talk to about this? So welcome one more time. And just begin to start.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. So let's start with, how should businesses that were able to kind of survive it, but they are now just on survival mode, like they're not totally dead, but they are survival mode, what is the first step that they should take to be able to get back on track to even before thinking of 10x in their sales?
Okay, fantastic. For those that manage to weather the storm and they are at a state of stability or semi-stability, first they need to be thankful, because an attitude of gratitude helps you to evaluate your space and even see the positivity around you. Even though that might not seem like a sales strategy, I think we should start from there, because it is the platform where you can now build any of your sales strategy. But if you have that attitude of loss, a sense of loss, a sense of despondency, all things are all doom and gloom, it will be difficult to even apply whatever you think would work, because you will always second guess if it will work or not, or you will always see it from that filtered lens that things will all end up looking doom and gloom. So for starters, I think we all need to be thankful, because if you look over our shoulders, not everybody is as lucky.
Yeah, very true.
As we are, and not everyone is as fortunate. And many people, just like you rightly said, had different strategies and models for their businesses. It was just rather unprecedented or unforeseen that many of the, what would I call it now, ideas or the strategies that were in place or models that were in place before would survive the wave or the storm that came. I mean, nobody could say that, oh, I had already put my strategy in place to be COVID proof. You just found yourself in a situation whereby you either made it or you didn't. Now, for those who didn't, it's not too late. If there is life, there is hope.
There's hope.
Now, for those who managed to stay head above water, you also need to be thankful. And for those who are thriving, it that is down, it fear no fall, and you that are standing, don't be too proud. So for everyone along the line, in the cadre, wherever you fit in, just keep your eyes on the mark and be positive. I think for starters, that is where we should start from before we even talk about 10xing our business in crisis.
All right, fantastic. Yes, in fact, I like it that I like that you went that route. Like, just be grateful first of all, and then in that space of gratefulness or gratitude, you can then evaluate your situation as, okay, what next can we do? So that will lead me to the next question. After being grateful, right, or practicing gratitude, what should these people now start to do? Because it feels like the strategies that they had before is like, it's not going to work in this new normal, right? So what can people now start to do? How can businesses, especially SMEs, how can they begin to position themselves for better sales than before? Because it feels like the last sales they had was nothing to write home about in 2020. But now when they say, okay, we're back in the game, how can we make sales and then scale it up or 10x it?
Okay, fantastic. I've actually penned down like a number of points, and I maybe put like 5 different points that we need to do. First of all, if you're talking about 10xing your business in crisis, that means you're doing more than you used to do times 10, right? And for every input or for every output, there's an input. So if you want a desired output, check your inputs. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, right?
Sure.
Same way it works. So if you want 10x results in your business, even in this climb in 2021 with the new normal, you must be ready to apply 10x input. Now, let's go through the 5 steps or the 5 key areas where you need to apply 10x massive actions. The first is your antenna. Now, antenna for your signal, that's what I mean. You need to 10x your antenna. And how do I mean? You need to invest more in your customer intelligence. It is critical. You need to understand your market. You need to understand what has changed. You need to understand your customer behavior. Their behavior pre-COVID is different from their behavior post-COVID. So you need to be very, very observant about what they refer to as essentials. I mean, even the government, that's the buzzword they use everywhere. Last year when there was a lockdown, they said only essential services were allowed to move around. Now you need to understand, what does it mean to have an essential value? You need to look inwards and also outwards. The value that you have right now, is it essential? The market that you're serving right now, what do they regard as essential? And that means you also need to be fluid. So you don't just stick to one side or your own side of doing things and just feel it's my way or the highway. No, you have to learn to adapt. That's what I mean by keeping your antennas super sharp. You need to be very well aware what is going on around you. What are people looking for right now? What is important to them? What are their priorities? And how can you scale up your value to meet that priority? So that's what I mean by the first step. You need to 10x your antenna. It is a detailed, massive action, but I can just put it in summary that everything that has to do with unlearning and relearning your business, understanding your market, understanding your environment, your ecosystem, where you operate, you need to invest more in your intelligence. You need to invest more in your discernment or in your awareness, intelligence. Let me just put that intelligence to just wrap it succinctly. Your intelligence needs to be super high because you can't afford to sail blindly. You can't afford to grope in the dark. You can't afford to just continue to do things business as usual and expect a fantastic result to just appear out of it won't happen. And that involves some 10x massive actions. So for the first point, your antenna, you need to raise it 10x. If you're getting short waves before, you need to go for gamma waves right now. If you know what I mean, you need to really, really be all out in every sphere. If you've been playing online as a hobby, now you need to play online as if your life depends on it. You need to be more aware of what's happening in cyberspace, learn AI, learn AR, learn machine learning, all those things that seem to be like elitist kind of topics. You need to start immersing yourself in it because that is where people are playing right now. So you need to know what exactly is happening so that you don't get relegated and left behind like the dinosaurs. Secondly, you need to 10x your resilience. And now this has to do with your personal attitude. You know, we started from the platform of having a sense of gratitude. Now you need to understand that you are going into a tough zone, and that calls for some character toughening because now things won't be the way it used to be before, and you must expect that you need to do things even a lot differently. And you must expect some resistance because right now the purchasing power, whether I like it or not, did not diminish. It was only redirected. People will always buy. There will always be customers. I mean, whether I like it or not, you bought something today. Either you paid for transport, you paid for gas, or you paid for power, internet, groceries, toothpaste. People will always buy. The question is, are they buying from you? So you need to create some resilience that matches the needs and the sensibilities of people out there. So in the area of being resilient, you just need to work on your attitude. You need to be a little more patient because there are times that maybe you might be prospecting or making calls, and what before COVID, it used to be very easy in a phone call or two, you get the desired results. Now you make 10 phone calls and people just seem to be frustrating you. You must develop some thick skin because you're the one who knows the business you're looking for. So you must be patient enough to bear people's excesses so that you can get to their mind. Because whether I like it or not, people are on the edge. Everybody is going through some emotional trauma right now. And you must expect that some people will transfer their aggressions at you. So you need to also replicate your resilience by 10. You can't continue to use the same resilience that you had pre-COVID for this season. You need to multiply it. If you want to play among the zones of those who have enough threshold of patience to win the customer's heart, you need to do more. So on that note, I can't overflog it, but you need to 10x your resilience.
Makes a lot of sense.
Thirdly, you need to 10x your relationships. Relationships is critical in times like this because we are all human beings and we are wired to be relational. This is not the time to be transactional. This is the time to be relational because people buy into you first before they buy into what you sell. I'll take that again. People buy into you first before they buy into what you sell. So this is the time that you need to show some sense of empathy. This is the time you need to learn to understand people even more. Know their names, know about their family, their life's best moments, birthdays, anniversaries, and all that. Connect deeply with your customers, especially those that you have on your hot list at the moment. Connect deeply with them. Let them see the human side of you, not just that person that is willing to collect their cash, but let them see that human side, because it is until they can let down their guard and see you as a friend, they will always put you in the category of, okay, this is that guy that wants to take my money. This is that guy that I want to speak with and all that. So you need to be all out in your relationship mode in this season, because truth be told, people are going through stuff. Who knows? You might pick up the phone and you're trying to call someone, you're trying to make a sales call, and the person's loved one just had COVID. How irrational would it be if you just go ahead blabbing about what you're selling and just talking about your value, and the person at the other end of the line is looking at you like, this person has no clue what I'm going through right now. But if you just step down a bit to just identify with the person, how are you doing today? How's everybody? By the time you start asking deep questions, the person will know that, okay, this person is not just asking rhetorical questions that require a fine thank you, I'm okay, all is good, all is well. But when you show some sincerity in your genuine concern, the person will be able to let down their guard, and the person will be able to let down his or her guard and also give you or grant you audience. So by doing this, especially in seasons like this, I don't think it's fantastic to make profits, it's fantastic to get businesses, but I think you need to shift the strategy a bit to be more relational. Because when you get more relational, you have a human heart that connects to people, and then people can now reciprocate that favor by transacting with you. But when they just see you as that person that just wants to collect and collect and collect, before you know what's happening, they will block you. Yeah. They will just put you aside. And you just find out that you're hitting a brick wall or hitting glass anytime you try to make or establish a connection. So focus deeply on relationship. And this also needs to be done 10x. Don't forget we're talking 10x. So if you want 10x results, whatever actions you're putting in place must also be 10x massive actions. That's number 3. Number 4, you need to 10x your value. If you are offering A before, it is time to offer A raised to power 10. You need to 10x your value. You need to add more stuff to it. You need to make it more compelling. You need to make it more convincing. You need to make it more desirable. Desire, like this, I wrote it in one of my books, that desire is the best kept secret in sales. If you can make your value desirable by your customer, it's a home run. They'll be the one requesting for it rather than you pushing the thing through to them. I mean, something as simple as toothpaste. I don't need someone to sell me toothpaste. I know that I need toothpaste in my life. I don't want to go about with bad breath. I don't want to go through a day without brushing my teeth. It has moved up the list as an essential for me. So I need to know which of the toothpaste brands works for me, and I stick to it. Hardly do you see people switch toothpaste brands. I mean, you use one brand today and you jump to another brand tomorrow. We are all creatures of habits. If you find something that works for you, you want to stick to it. So that's the reason why you also need to pitch your value in such a way that it aligns with the desires and sensibilities of your customers. And this also needs to be done at 10x level. Number 5, which is the final one, you need to 10x your customer experience. You can't have an interesting business without an awesome customer experience. And customer experience starts from the very moment you interface with the customer. Hello, my name is Joe. I can help you do X, Y, and Z so that you can become A and B. Right from that very moment, the customer experience has started. From your tone of voice, from your demeanor, from your attitude, from your manner of approach, from the way you field questions, from the way you demonstrate competence, from the way you show empathy, you deepen connections, and everything you do along the way in qualifying your value proposition till you eventually land a transaction. And of course, it doesn't end at the transaction. Before you now move it from transaction to post or after sales service, after sales relationships. How do you manage crisis? If the customer calls to complain that, oh, something got broke, how do you fix it? Do you just take it like, oh, my job is to collect your money. I've collected your money. Sorry, I can't help you. Or, oh, you have a problem, you have a challenge. Okay, let me see how I can fix it. Who knows? It could be something minor. It could be something that maybe the client just misunderstood what it needs to do. And just you offering a helping hand, you just give that client a very good customer experience. Even something as simple as mode of payment. Depending on if the client wants to pay by card or pay by cash or pay by any other means, barter, whatever method, you need to make the process seamless. You need to make the process easy. You need to make the process convenient. You want, at the end of the day, let the thing that rings in the customer's mind be that I just enjoyed this experience. Right from the very moment I made inquiries to the moment I placed the order and I received the order, it has just been a fantastic experience. Because any customer that gets a good experience will always pass it on, will always share the fun, will always share the reviews, the referrals, or the recommendation, even with friends. And that helps you to also scale up your business. So you can imagine if you invest 10x into your customer experience, how much more will you get even in putting smiles on the faces of your customer? So if you go through these 5 steps, at least these 5 short, simple steps, which is first, you get your antenna out there, you make sure you understand what you need to do, understand the market, pivot where necessary so that you can better meet needs. You also understand that you need to work on yourself to be more resilient, more accommodating, more endearing. Also work on your relationships, be more sincere and to be more approachable, to deepen your connections and to be more human and relational rather than just transactional. It helps. And also your value. You are not just doing all of this to sell crap. Customers can smell crap from afar. You have only one opportunity to make a good impression. You can fool somebody once, but you can't fool people all the time. So that opportunity that you have, that one shot, you want to make it a very good shot that the customer will never forget. Make it a remarkable experience. And of course, speaking of experience, it ties nicely to the final point, which is a fantastic customer experience. So I think with these areas, if you work on them individually, you will rise above water and you begin to find your way into the hearts of your customers.
Absolutely. Like, I'm just here taking notes, like, oh my God, this is so good. They sound so simple, but they're very vital. And I think just focusing and zooming in on these 5 steps, if you're able to 10x, then I think that's the word to put in mind here. Not just do them anyhow or carelessly, but actually putting in the work 10 times the normal way that you would do it on a good day. Absolutely. And then you get the result that you require. I mean, so it just, like, I really love it. Thank you so much for sharing. It's obvious that you know what you're doing. It's obvious that you are great at this. And I know about your masterclass. Can you please tell us about that? Because I feel like that is really something that is value for money, because it's not just a one-off thing, like, oh, buy this course and go. You're working with these people for a whole year. That's a lot. That's a long-term commitment. Please tell us about it.
Thank you very much. It's actually an audacious project because oftentimes what you see is a training session. Maybe the minimum you get is maybe an hour or 2 hour session, or maybe a 5 day session or whatever. But in this case, I said to me, it's all in line with practicing the steps that I just mentioned. That why give a 2 hour session? Why give a 5 day session? It's time to 10x your value, which is what this is about. That at the end of the day, you find yourself in a situation where most business people, they go for this kind of trainings. They pay so much, even for this training. And maybe after 5 days, they've got videos, they've got manuals, they've got worksheets, they've got all kinds of documents and information. Knowledge has been shared. And now they are back in the real world and they don't even have time to apply all that has been shared. And the next month, another training comes up, they jump on that training, and they end up becoming training junkies, and yet nothing to show for it. So we thought about tweaking the model a bit, that why don't we create a casual school? I'll call it a casual school in the sense that we have 50 weeks. The title of the program is 50 Weeks Sales Masterclass. Now, if you have 50 weeks out of 52 weeks in the year, I mean, let's give you a Christmas break and all, and we spread all the different topics in sales. And we don't come to you with textbooks, but we extract the juice out of it, and we break them down into easy, ready to apply ideas that you can put into your business on the go. Because we're all business people and we don't have, not all of us even have that time to go and sit down at a class, not even for 2 hours. We don't even have that time to spare. So what I've done is to create a community where these classes are delivered weekly in a very easy manner. In fact, we don't even do slides often. Oftentimes, the training is delivered via voice notes. So if you have your headphone, you're commuting to work, or you're just resting or in the kitchen, you can just plug in your earphones and you can just tune in and catch up on the trainings. Like now, the training, we have weekly activities because there's a method to the madness as well. Classes are delivered every Tuesdays, depending on the topic for that day or for that week. We deliver the class on Tuesdays, oftentimes West African time, 8 p.m. Tuesdays, classes are delivered. If you are available, which you are advised to be available, you partake in the class live. But even if you can't, because it's on Telegram, the community is on Telegram, you can always catch up on previous classes. And once you catch up on previous classes, you have like 2 days to catch up. Let's say classes are delivered on Tuesdays, you have Wednesday and Thursday to catch up. On Fridays, we have Q&A sessions. Q&A sessions based on the class that was delivered on Tuesday. You can now come based on your own business to say, you know what, I have this question, I have this challenge, I have this issue, and we deal with it then and there on Friday. At times it spills into Saturday. Now on Saturday itself, we have what we call the Sell Your Business. Sell Your Business is an opportunity for you as a business person to sell your business in the group. You post your business, you put up a caption, put up sales copy. Let's see the way you communicate your value to the public. So we give you a test run even in the group. If you're not using the right keywords, if you're not using the right compelling words and all, we correct you, we guide you so that you propose your value in the best way that you will do it out there in the public. So there are other areas to the
masterclass.
To the masterclass, there's the networking opportunity. We also have case study exercises where we use real life situations, even from existing participants' business or any business in the business terrain that we're used to. Why did they fail? Why did they succeed? We diagnose it and we apply the lessons even to our businesses. So it's a really robust program that if you're really going to evaluate it, it's quite pricey.
It should be.
It's quite pricey. I mean, if you're going to at least nothing less than $1,000 at the least. But we also figured out that in the bid to be accessible, in the bid to show empathy, in the bid to connect with business people that most of them are barely
surviving
head out of water. And they just need the next idea, the next technique, the next tip to move forward. So the 50-week sales masterclass, for me personally, it's a gift. It is not particularly profit-oriented because we are not matching the value as it should be. And we said, okay, if you've got $55, you can make a one-time payment of $55, and that will take you for the whole year. And that translates to, if you have 45 pounds, if you're in the UK, 45 pounds, you can commit and get the training, get access to the training for the whole year. And if you're in Nigeria, which is my home country, if you have just 25,000 naira, you can get access for the whole year. That is if you commit now, because we also reward early adopters. Last month, it was just 20K and it was $50 and 40 pounds. This month now, it's going up. Next month, it will go up and because the value is way more than that. But we also want a situation whereby early adopters are rewarded. Because whether you join in January or you join in June, the platform is there. All the backlog of trainings are there for you to catch up on. So it is in your best interest. Why do you want to postpone the day of your success? Why do you want to postpone the day that you learn how to make your business better? So we always advise join in at the earliest, because it is even when people join in, we have a database that you fill, just a very short form, your line of business and your expectations. So it is based on the back end of your line of business and your expectations that informs the way we deliver the masterclass. So we're not just speaking over your heads, or we're not just being all technical and textbook-like about it, but we are being practical to say, you know what, these are the real issues on ground. These are your customers. How do you connect with them? How do you approach them? And several other things that are, mind-blowing.
I can just imagine, like only the few that you've even...
People are really having fun. They are balling in the group right now.
Only the few that you have even shared with me, I'm like, wow, are you sure I should not be in that class?
Are you sure you should not be in that class? Really?
But I would like to ask this, like, does this apply to anybody, any business, regardless of where you are in the globe? Or is it just specific to Nigerians?
No, not at all. It is designed for the global market. It is designed because at the end of the day, you interface with customer and the principles are the same all over the world. And that's why we also try to apply the sense. We are all human. We have the same blood flowing through our veins. If you look at the points that I've mentioned, even in this session, it applies everywhere. Everybody's going through the same thing. So how do you approach them? How do you qualify your value? So many things that we talk about that are also applicable anywhere in the world. So it is for everyone, and it also applies to both B2B and B2C businesses.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Business to business and business to consumer.
Yes, fantastic. I think now it's even H to H, you know what I'm saying? It's no longer B2B or B2C.
Exactly. Take it home.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you. Like, I've learned it. I feel like I just left a class right now. I've had a swell time. Viewers and listeners, I hope that you gained a lot from this session. And please do not dwell on this one. If you're a business owner or even thinking of starting your own business now, because a lot of people are also thinking, okay, the work that I'm doing is not cutting it for me. Now I want to go into business. This is a good time. And this is a perfect place to start from, because you're going to be handheld. You're going to be told exactly how to do it. And you have a sea or an ocean of other business owners in the community that you can learn from, that you can ask questions from. And it's just going to be an amazing journey for you. So, Mr. Dapo, finally, how do people connect with you if they want to be a part of this masterclass?
Absolutely. I was actually coming to that. I think to make it very easy, rather giving you a long link or whatever that you need to click on, just follow me on Instagram.
Okay.
My handle is my name and surname, Dapo Onamusi.
Okay,
you can spell it together, one word.
On the screen.
Sorry?
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that it's going to be on the screen. It's going to be on the screen.
Yes.
So just
follow me on Instagram, click the link in my bio, and you're good to go.
Fantastic. Thank you once again. I know it was a hassle to get this done, but I'm grateful that we did finally.
I know it's part of the everyday challenge. Yeah.
I know. Thank you so much for your patience and understanding. Guys, you've heard it. Please go follow Dapo Onamusi on Instagram and go register for the masterclass. 52 weeks has already reduced though. This is already February, right? So a couple of weeks gone. And so
this is the 5th week.
Exactly. So it's better you join now.
So if you join in now, you still have access to the previous classes.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just okay to just go with the live session so that you don't have to
exactly. It's always a better experience when it's live.
Yeah.
Than when you listen to it.
To a replay, exactly. All right. Thank you so much. Until I come your way again next week with another guest on another topic, reaching out to the African continent. My name is Ejiro Saked, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.